Welcome to Center Stage Music Center Online. My name is John Potoknik, and in this lesson, I'm going to be going over 3 specific rudiments out of the 27 total we've had for All State. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go specifically over our 6-stroke roll, our drag paradiddle number 1, and our flam paradiddle-diddle. All right, the 6-stroke roll. Now what's special about this roll is that the number 6 is an even number. And most of the rolls that we have are going to be to an odd number, resulting in one final hit at the end. But this one is special because it's going to result in us having 2. And what's super fun about that is you can technically put the 2 hits wherever you'd like, but to have it in this set fashion, we're going to make it nice and easy, and we're going to put the hits at the end and at the beginning. So we're almost going to sandwich these with our rolls, our doubles, together, and we're going to get something like this. So we'll actually start off with a rest in the beginning, but you're going to count your 16th notes as such as 1, E, and 2. And those last 2 notes there are going to be 2 singles, and they're going to be the 2 accents we get to make this stroke roll an even one, but to also make it to the number 6. But what's nice is we only have to rest in that very beginning note to get those 2 accents. And we'll have 1, E, and 2. E, and 3. So you can always think of your and your number as your accents, and the E's and the ands right in the middle, as we have something just like this on the snare drum without a metronome. Here we are, we'll have 1. As to mention as well, with most rudiments, all of them in fact, should say with the ones with the accent specifically, whether they're, I should say, 2 of them, or if there's 1 of them, or even if it's in the middle, as we have with some rudiments on a 2nd note, we're going to make sure that we're nice and relaxed, we're in the same vicinity, a nice, easy, closed-in area, not too far out, not too far up, getting our accents with our wrist for a nice, even motion, nice and relaxed as well. It'll make them super easy. So now, as we have our metronome at 100 BPM, counting our 16th notes, like we do with most of our rolls, we're going to get the sound just like this. And here we are, we'll have 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. And we're going to see what they sound like just like this, but also an important note when it comes to playing this rudiment, you've noticed I've only been playing it one specific way, because just like as if we have some of our other rolls, some of the odd ones of course, and some other rudiments, we don't alternate. And what we'll do is we'll play it in one fashion, take a quick little break, we'll give ourselves about a measure or so, maybe 2, of a nice easy BPM rest, and then what we'll do is we'll then start off with our left hand and play the same exact way as to alternate, but without alternating right away. Here we are, so with the 16th notes, they'll sound just like this, starting with the right hand. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to start with my left hand to get you something just like this. 1, 2. Here we go. Ready, and... There we are. So as we're playing, practicing it in the beginning with a nice even rest for the very first note is a perfect way to allow us to start with those doubles and to get those 2 accents. But if you'd like to as well, you can start with an accent in the beginning as we're going to sandwich the 2 together, and it results in a nice even 6 notes. So even though this rudiment stands out as an even stroke roll, giving us 2 accents, it's one of my favorites to play on the snare drum, favorites to play on the drum set, and I think it'll be one of your favorites as well. All right, the drag paradiddle number 1. What's really cool about this is we have 2 of them, and they build in the same way as when we have our Rudiment cues as earlier on in NYSSMA. But I want to see what we can do is with the drag paradiddle number 1. We're going to be combining the 2 ideas of our drag and our paradiddle. But what's interesting about this is that the drag in this rudiment is actually going to be reversed. And instead what we're going to do is, instead of playing our 2 ghost notes per usual with our drag first and then our accent after, we're actually going to be playing our accent first and then the 2 grace notes. But then what's nice and easy is right after we follow with a paradiddle. So even though the name might seem like it's juxtaposed with our drag paradiddle number 1, we're actually going to make it nice and simple when we put them together. And what we'll do is we'll have it counted as 16th notes, and it'll be nice and easy as you have your 1, E, 2, E, or you'll think of it as 1, E, and 2, E, or you can think of it as even as well without having to cross over a bar line. Think of it as a nice even 6 notes. 1, as your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what's cool with the drags, as we play just like our rolls, you'll have 1 syllable and 2 notes. But to think of it nice and easy though, as with our R's and L's, without having to count it just yet, you have your right hand, then your left, left, and your paradiddle, nice and easy. But to make sure that the drags right before the paradiddle aren't exactly in time, they flow just like the drag does. So on the wallet we'll have and what's nice is our paradiddle separated is played exactly as we would per level 1 to level 2, even 16th notes. What you can do is now, as an easy addition, I'm going to add my drag before I do it. I'm going to add just the 2 notes beforehand, so I can go just like this. And then I'm going to stop right there, and then I'm going to alternate, because doing it just this way results in a little funky sticking, if you will. But now if I take a quick break and I try it now, starting with my right hand on this drag, just like that, nice and easy. We can see my hands play a nice easy left paradiddle, left, right, left, left, with that little drag before. But now to help make this nice and smooth and to help make it alternate, what we're going to do is put the big note first, have our drag, and then our paradiddle. So without a metronome, it's going to sound just like this, with both hands alternating. Here we are. Just like so, we have just like so. Nice even counting. If you wanted to add it into 16th notes as well, you could think of it as your 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 E and just to keep it all the same. But with a metronome, we'll have it just like this. And I will do the same exact way. We'll have 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. So our paradiddles on the wallet sound just like this at 60 BPM. We have at with 16th notes at 100, we have bam. And now what I'm going to do is have it nice and even, thinking of it as the nice even six notes that we'll have just like this. Having our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we'll have played just like that. Before I switch anything around, it sounds just like this on the snare. Here we are. And now to bring it back to the idea of these 6 notes, if we wanted to, we could. We could now make it instead going to 80 and switching it up. Nothing too crazy, but as we've done before, going to now our 6 notes, getting us into this swung feel, if you will. We'll have just like this. We'll have just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, da, 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 1, 2. Here we go. And there we are. So now, as I'm always a huge fan for a brain teaser, I love playing it the first way with 16th notes as we play a 6-note pattern. But to make it nice and even, and as they would have it in NYSSMA, I want you guys to actually preferably count it as a 6-note pattern, nice and even with your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, having those 2 notes there for your number 2, 1, 2, as 2 notes while we say one thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just like that. It's nice and even. And again, too, I think you're going to enjoy this one a lot. All right, the Flam Paradiddle-diddle. So this one's a really fun rudiment because as we juxtapose the 2 ideas together, we're going to smash our flam and our paradiddle-diddle together as one idea. We're actually going to help contradict or change, rewrite some of the rules that usually go with one of these rudiments. So as some other rudiments that we've done before, we're going to have a non-alternating rudiment as the paradiddle, work with the alternating rudiment as the flam. So as we have our flams go back and forth like this, and our paradiddle-diddles go something like this, par-ra-di-ddle-diddle. It would almost be, and you can think of it as uncomfortable, trying to mix match to keep the 2 rudiments operate the same way together. So what we do is we actually take away the non-alternating idea from our paradiddle-diddle. And what I mean by that is this whole rudiment is going to have a right-hand way and is going to have a left-hand way. So when looking at the 2 rudiments separate, they will be their own ideas, but mixing them together, we get this really fun combination. And what we'll do is same exact idea when playing any kind of paradiddle, whether it's got an extra diddle or if it's got, let's say it's the single, double, or triple. We're going to have our accent be on the very first note, a nice big one on that number 1, if you will. But now with our Flam Paradiddle-diddle, we're going to be playing to the idea of 6 notes. So we are going to have this one as well be a little swung, if you will. You could think of it as 1 triplet and triplet, 2 triplet and triplet. So now as we're playing though with this here, I'm going to take away the metronome for now and go nice and slow and show you what the 2 ideas sound like on the snare drum as they alternate. Here we are. Just like that, we have the nice even 6 notes as we're playing our 1 triplet and triplet, if you will. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. However, each number in 6 is only going to have, or 1 through 6, will only have 1 syllable, so we don't have to worry too much about anything being crazy or jumbling up the speech. But now as I have, here we are, my 6/8, if you will, my dotted quarter note, this swung feel at 80 BPM. We're going to have now on the snare drum, ba 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 1. Going to have them just like this, played on the snare drum. Nice and even, nothing too crazy. You can even play them here as we get the feel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 triple. 1 triple, and triple, 2 triple, and triple, 3 triple, and triple, 4 triple, and triple, 1 triple, and just like this. So now we're gonna have them on the snare drum as such with 80 BPM. Here we are. 1, yep. Here we are. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. Just like that, nice and slow, as with every rudiment, whether it's from a level 1 to a level 6 to even further. What I want you to do is, as you practice, put the pieces together individually, working on making sure the flams are okay, and of course too, working on the paradiddle-diddle on its own, but then knowing that when we put them together for this specific rudiment, the paradiddle-diddle will do what it usually doesn't. It will alternate as we add this together to help us get that excellent sound. We have our flam, left, right, left, left, and what's nice is then we get that flam, the alternate flam right after to help, even though it seems like we want to go back to our right hand, it'll be an excellent way to get that grace note, and it'll be an excellent way to master this rudiment and enjoy it as much as I do. Well, that's it for today's lesson. We'd love to hear from you, so make sure you leave a comment below. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I want you to stay tuned as well for more Center Stage Music Center online videos.